In this video, we'll take a look at printing from Adobe Illustrator to the Zing laser printer. I'll start by downloading the file that I intend to print from and open it up in Adobe Illustrator. To see the entire file, Control-Alt-0 will zoom out. And I'm going to print this little tower test sample. The first thing I'll do is move it to the upper left-hand corner of my artboard, which is this white surface here. And I can do that either by dragging it to where I want it, or I can input a value off of this top left-hand corner. So I'm going to be 1/4 inch off of both edges. It's never good to line up exactly on the edge because you'll cut into the structure of the laser itself. So now I'm going to zoom in by Z on the keyboard. Then V on the keyboard brings back the stylus tool so I can select. Now this particular item, I need to make sure that the line thickness is in accordance with what the machine will interpret as a through cut. So the line thickness needs to always be 0.001 for the machine to cut through, and that's called a vector cut. Any other line thickness will be interpreted as an engrave cut, which is called a raster cut in the machine. So if I double click on this item, it's grouped together. I can analyze and look at this perimeter line. By selecting it, I can see that it is a line thickness or a stroke thickness of 0.001, and it has no fill. The other item on the inside, the tower, has no stroke value, and it's got a fill that is black. It's got multiple colors in there, but for the most part, it's black in there. So I can click out of that area now that I know that the line thickness is good for cutting through and engraving. And I will go ahead and go to print. So to print, it's Control P, or you can navigate up to File and select Print. And I need to make sure when the screen comes up that my print looks the same as my print screen. Because in here you can actually move this print around, but it's not an ideal spot to do that. So we want to always keep this 0 and up in the left-hand corner. And we do all of our moving on the screen down here. So with that setup being good, I actually need to make sure that we're in the Epilogue, the Zing Epilogue laser as our printer. I will navigate to Setup, Preferences, and now this is the print controls screen. We have the two types of cuts, the vector, which is a through cut, and the raster. So we can select one or the other or a combined cut. We have a resolution setting, which is, it is the dots per inch for the engrave or raster cut. And the 500 default is generally a pretty good raster setting. As you increase the DPI, the time increases on the machine as well. Now over here we have our raster settings. So we have a speed variable and a power variable. The slower the speed, the deeper the cut, and the more power, also the deeper the cut. We have the ability to change the dithering, which is also kind of a function of the DPI. It's the way the dots are distributed. The standard is generally pretty good. And then we have our vector settings. So we have the ability to update the speed, power, and frequency. If you click to the advanced settings, we've started building a library of successful runs, and we can load those successful settings per material by going down to the load button. Sorry, we go to the browse button, and on the desktop, we can navigate to this Zing print settings. Open that, and it brings up the current print settings. So we have in here hardboard, cardboard, and a 0.19 thick plywood. For this project, I'm going to select the 0.19 thick plywood. I will load it, and it will populate all of the settings. Now, this is a good starting point, and the little print that I'm doing currently is a test print to make sure to verify that these settings will work for a larger print. So I'm going to start there, OK, print, and then print again. Now I can go to the machine and press go on the machine, and it'll run this print. Another way to find out information on settings is to navigate through the CSI shop policies. If you come down to laser, we keep a log of successful settings with notes on what worked and what didn't work. And sometimes it's good to go and reference this if you're having trouble with a certain print. And if you come across a new material, it's always kind to go back and update this or add it into the log so that other people can see what you went through and what worked. Also in the shop policies, we have the entire user guide or the manual for the machine. So feel free to read through that and find new techniques. So that concludes this video.